Good evening, fellow patrons. In today's video, we test out the brand new attachment for the PPSH, the Helical magazine. This may be the best gun attachment released to date. In my opinion, makes this classic gun the best SMG in the game. We tested out at round 100 against the Centennial artifact on the tomb. I decided to skip the portion of this boss fight where I'm spamming the ice staff to eliminate the first 4 Centennial artifacts because it's fairly boring to watch, but the attachments you see on screen is the build I am running for this video. I went with the compensator because guns are so much more fun to use when there's less recoil. However, this gun has very little recoil as is, so you could easily switch this out for a suppressor. The tac stance crosshair on the PPSH is elite, and I would definitely recommend for you guys to try it out. Just FYI, the reason why I opted to not equip an optic on this build is because when you're using the tac laser, the tac spread is almost always smaller when there is no scope on the gun. Diving into the stats of the Helical magazine, the mag comes with 600 rounds when pack punched and 320 before packing. There is really no downside to this attachment other than the fact that it blocks the underbarrel attachment. The Helical mag reduces vertical and horizontal recoil by a whopping 50% and increases your ADS speed by 7%. It increases critical damage by 10% and adds 5 meters to the range of the gun. Prior to using this attachment, I expected the overheat meter to be similar to that of the GMPG, where it essentially never overheats, but this is not the case with the helical mag. You're able to shoot 75 rounds prior to overheating the magazine. However, if it does overheat, its cooldown penalty is much less severe than the other LMGs with similar magazines. Consecutive bursts of 20 to 30 rounds with half a second in between each burst should allow you to keep firing without the gun overheating. "600 rounds seems like a lot, but with how fast the PPSH shoots, this amount of ammo can be expended very quickly. Getting to the ammo crate in the tomb boss fight is terrifying, and trekking to the second level to buy ammo will end up causing it down more times than not. Using the hidden impact augment from Melee Macchiato alleviates all of your ammo worries for the PPSH. Take a look at the ammo count prior to these 3 quick melee kills. We're getting 70 rounds per melee kill, and with how fast the boxing gloves eliminate zombies, it's a pretty easy way to refill ammo. It can take a considerable amount of time to kill the Shock Mimic and Amalgam that are carrying the Centennial Artifact on their backs. What I like to do is use a Mutant Injection to get the 2 of these enemies low on health. If you have a support group Gobblegum, I would advise you to first purchase a Mutant Injection from a crafting table and then pop the support group Gobblegum. I tend to just discard the RCXD Mangler Cannon and Sentry Gun so I have immediate access to the Mutant Injection. Once you have used the Mutant Injection from the support group Gobblegum, the one you purchased from the crafting table will still be in your inventory ready for you to use. This will save you a ton of time in this boss fight.